Welcome back, turn 37, and let's get right into it. Finished Conjuration 5, picked up Throne of Night. I need to actually name that guy. And this guy picked up his Throne of Ice, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Throne of Ice, some water gems, cold resistance, nice pickup. Did some crossbreeding, summoned a water sprite, that's this guy right here. Water 2 on a flying stealthy chassis. Lots of blood hunting, although as we talked about before, not quite enough. Let's go ahead and watch these battles. In Arrhythmia, this is Pythium trying to kick out Vanderlog. Vanderlog just has PD, so Pythium's going to win this fight, but we can see what they've got to deploy. Plenty of communicants, as you'd expect from Pythium, some Theurgs in an area up front ahead of them, and then these guys in the back to protect against attack rear. Let's see what spells they deploy. They lots of body ethereal, divine blessing, although that doesn't really matter without them actually having, well, I guess we can see what their bless is, that's important. Reinvigoration and penetration, that makes sense. Reinvigoration is pretty much a given for Pythium. And they do some Enslave Mind, which isn't going to stick, but it's good to know that Pythium has that. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so Communion plus Enslave Mind spam. Sorry if there was the weird sound there. I'm playing on an uneven surface right now. Alright, here we have Pangea trying to kick Phasia off of their land. Again, it's just PD on the receiving end. So, let's see. This guy's gonna Iron Skin, I guess. He's not bothered blessing any of these centaurs. We talked about this last turn, but it's just interesting. Wonder, well, I should check his scales. Okay. So that does that. Let's actually take a peek there. Do we have any Pangean scales in our land? So we can see what's happening here. Turmoil, productivity, growth, misfortune. Where did Pangea put all their points? Because if they have a good bless, then they should be using it. And if they don't, then why are they bothering with turmoil and misfortune? I don't get it. Well, okay. I guess that's something else I can do. Pretenders of the World, Pangea, the biggest boy. So he's got all these titles. I haven't looked up what these titles mean. But he definitely has something with, like, he didn't just go with pure scales, that's for sure. And then this battle in Ulm. So Asphodel is moving in to capture the heart of Ulm itself. Ulm is guarded by several priestsmiths. We'll see if they have anything better than those Blade Winds. Some guardians, their god Grimlock here, and then another priestsmith in the back. Asphodel has their own pretender, this Carrion Dragon. It is inside their dominion, so they get the effect of their bless, which is interesting in its own right. We've seen this before, Undying, Regen, Decay weapons. And of course he's got the 5 attacks here. Number of attacks 3, so I guess it's, in a way, it's 9 attacks. Yeesh. He's got a Ring of Regen, which makes it 20 regeneration in total, 20%. Some Panic Apostates, Twiceborn, of course, that makes complete sense. These guys are here with their gods, they're just automatically blessed. And then the same is true of the Black Centaurs. Alright. So, Student Skins going up. Almost casting Magma Warriors, although their formation is not great for it. These guys are going to burn Alm's own Priest Smiths because they don't have a funnel way out, which is something we've talked about previously. What's this guy been up to? He's just regenning again, so he's going to be up to 30% regen, which is incredibly powerful for someone with that many HP. More Magma Warriors coming out. Skelispan from Asphodel. These guys are holding the line, but they are starting to fatigue quite quickly. Magma Bolts. And one thing to note here is that it is just Magma Bolts. There's no Iron Blizzards coming out, which that's definitely Ulm's big game changer, is when they can start just slamming the battlefield with tons of Iron Blizzards. He's got Soul Vortex, so that's obviously a powerful move. The Blade Winds are decently effective against these guys who have no protection, but now they're burning their own troops again. You just gotta watch out for these formations. Whenever you get guys with heat auras like these or fire elementals or such, you need to leave a gap for them to get out. Here we're seeing the problem of not doing that is that these Magma Warriors, who are powerful in their own right, just can't actually make an impact in the battle because they're stuck behind their own troops. Let's go ahead and speed this up. The dragon's coming through, breathing poison, which is more effective against his own troops. Interestingly enough, Asphodel has not deployed Foul Vapors. They've got the regen, so even though they don't have poison they do have poison resistance. Yeah, just inherently. I don't know if Asphodel simply doesn't have a water guy to cast it. That could be. Foul Vapors would be incredibly helpful for Asphodel right now. We've got a dragon off here. Let's go ahead and slow it back down again. How's this guy doing? He's just regenerating through everything. And he's got plus 100 in Ulm's capital from Dominion bonus. Insane. Is this guy asleep? No, he's still just barely awake. And the Soul Vortex just goes straight through those Ulm troops' protection. So this guy with 300 HP and 30% regen is definitely X Factor here. These guys don't care about Ulm Dragon Gas. Yeah, that was just the end of Ulm's God right there. Okay, now we can go fast forward. So, Magma Warriors are holding up decently well. Like, Ulm would have lost this battle regardless, but if they had laid things out differently, I mean, they might have forced an HP route if the Magma Warriors had burned all of these guys. But, as is, the Great Fortress of Ulm now belongs to Asphodel, quite convincingly. Now let's go ahead and look at the battle score for that guy. Asphodel lost a decent number of chaff and 15 of their Black Centaurs, but they wiped this out and most of their mages survived, including both of their Panic Apostates and obviously their dragon. Alright, events, it's gonna get dark, I don't mind that. Air gems, nature gems, 3 for both, that was nice. Found this treasure, always appreciated, and got some zealots over here. That's just a bunch of flagellants. These guys will inherit my bless, So, cool. I don't really have much to do with them, but I'm switching back to Magus Supremes, and as you can see, I'm moving in on Pangea. My non-aggression pact ends this turn. I have not elected to send these guys into Pangea yet. I'm still getting the gang together, and then we're going to have a nice big force. And meanwhile, over here, really, I want Pangea to kick Phasia off of one of these forts, probably this one, because this just has 50 barbarians in it. It's basically nothing. And then I'll come in behind and swoop it for myself. So I'm not in a big rush to capture these Pangean provinces. I just want to grab what I can. Next turn, regardless, I'm going to send an army from here to Pazooks over here. It's just a question of, well, let me rephrase. I'll send it to Pazooks unless I can send it to Wise Spring Grove and capture the fort, because, well, forts are better. Especially tasty forest forts. Really want this Highlands. It's very important to me, because then I can recruit Bitch Mothers and Gog Reavers. So we'll see what happens there. This fort is broken. So actually, let's have you go. It's a bit riskier. Let's have you go over here. See if I can pick up this Highlands, which means that I do need a raiding squad to go and pick up one of these, which I guess will be from here. Yeah, that'll work. Just fill up one of these Maguses with kitties and move in that way. You're undisciplined, you're not. Okay. What are you? Yeah, we don't want to send too many undisciplined folks in. Well, let me take that back. Like, undisciplined folks are fine. Yeah. Let's put those guys on attack rear, and I'll just have you cast spells just so you don't do something stupid. You'll get a feline bodyguard, and that should be great. Oh, we've got Basilisk in here, that's nice. That's how the spiders go in with these guys. Alright, so that ought to be sufficient to grab Arcadus here. And so that means that if for some reason I'm unable to take this fort, or not this fort, this highland, I've got a place to retreat to. But if all goes to plan, then I'll pick up all 4 of these, including this tasty cave, and we'll go from there. I'll basically just wipe out 2/3 of Pangea in one turn. And the ideal would be if Pangea kicks Phasia off of this fort, and I can grab that too. But we'll have this army that was just attacking Arcosophale just methodically march down to Pangea itself and pick up that juicy prize. Alright, I think that pretty much covers it for now. I'm using that money windfall as always to upgrade my forts. Gonna need to do some preaching in this area to get my Dominion benefits back. It's minor downside of playing as Ind is that Dominion conflict bonus, so I have to make sure to keep preaching to actually gain the benefits of my dominion, which is fine. These guys are moving around here doing some preaching and some site searching. I don't expect to find much in the farmland, but it's always worthwhile to try. And at some point I'll be recruiting feminine sorcerers there, so that'll be nice. You're blood hunting, but let's actually send you over there. What do you have with you? Oh, you just got a bunch of foul spawn. A lot of foul spawn. So let's go ahead and get those foul spawn out of there. That is kind of an annoying thing about doing all this crossbreeding, is you just wind up with so much crap. But that's okay. I'll summon a bunch of foul spawn there, and that'll be just as much of a deterrent as it's always been. And I guess these guys can just go... Oh shoot. So... because the tentacle spit ones are different than the other ones. These guys are actually good. These guys are just siege chaff and that's it. Although to be fair, they do count for 1.2 siege strength apiece, so can't really complain about that. Research, still working on alteration. As you can see, I've gone with pretty much a generalist approach, while some of my opponents have gotten to 6 in some of these. I'm just grabbing lots of 5s. After I get to Alteration 5, I'll probably ramp up some more Thaumaturgy, and that'll get me some goodies here. Or I might go into Conjuration. Conjuration gives me this Hashmal, and then more powerful stuff as I continue going up. Or I might go into Construction. I have not decided yet. Lots of options. So, I think that covers it for now. Thanks as always for joining me. I'll see you on turn 38.